Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Karibu katika channel ya JOKE.Gachie Skyman TV. I'm your host, JOKE.Gachie Skyman, the tallest man in Black Africa. Of late, we have heard Raila Amolo Odinga saying that when he took over power, when he took over the presidency, he is going to jail William Samoei Ruto and all the corrupt guys. As late as yesterday, he said that these guys will land in Kamete, Shimoratewa, Naivasha maximum prison, and anything will be done to ensure that they go to prison. Do you think Raila has any ground to take these guys to the court? We know that we have independent bodies. We have the Director of Public Prosecution, who is actually supposed to act independent. But never should you agree that anybody, any institution, whether parliamentary, judiciary, TSC, and others, independent commissions, you should not be cheated that they work independent. There's nothing like independence when it comes to this, because what there is what we call interdependence, because they complement each other and they rely on each other. There's no way any organ in the state or in this country can run without the influence of the executive or without the input of the executive. Although the ideal situation, that is what is expected. But the big question, my viewer, let me ask you, do you think Ruto has a case to answer? Do you think Baba has what we call a prima facie case? And this is a case with a high chance of succeeding in court. In my view, I think Raila has his work cut out. Kwa sababu tunapoangalia tunaona kwamba Ruto's life is riddled with issues or allegations of corruption. And this billionaire, that is billionaire Ruto, cannot claim to be a clean person. He did not say that we are having a clean person. And I think this man acquired his wealth in ways that are questionable. The owner of the 5-star controversial hotel is associated with a number of scandals. Some of these scandals, which I think Raila can use against Ruto and all the people involved, is the Euroboard. The Euroboard question has never been answered to date. How was this money used? How did it benefit the country? How much did this country obtained after selling the Euroboard? To date, some questions have never been answered. And when you look at Ruto, who has been hiding behind the region, he's been using region as his shield, you see that he is somebody who is followed by ghosts and skeletons of corruption. So in his closets are ghosts and skeletons of all types of corruption. When you look at Ruto, when you look at ICC, you realize that he was not acquitted by the ICC. And the case was termed as mistrial due to witness interference and lack of cooperation by the state. So you can say, in a nutshell, this is one case that can be revived. So Raila can decide to start cooperating with ICC. The file is still open. The other issue is that Pricewaterhouse audited what we heard about the maize scandal. And it is revealed, it is said that Ruto wrote a letter to the National Cereals and Produce Board instructing, that time he was a minister, the board to give his friends a trader to supply 1,000 bags of maize. And the records are very clear. The letter, I think, should be there if this is the case. But what you know, the PricewaterhouseCoopers is one organization that is very, very clean and very, very reliable. So anything that comes from this organization is something that is likely to carry a lot of weight. The other scandal is the Hustler's Jet, which was actually in 2013, whereby I think it was hired at, is it 100 million? Yeah, 100 million. The jet was hired. And this was for a shuttle diplomacy in West Africa. And with it came an extravagant trip that cost the country 21 million, and only 14 people were involved. And when you look at this, this was actually embezzlement of public funds. Then comes the Langata Primary School, which borders Western Hotel. Langata Primary School was to be used by Western Hotel as parking a lot. And who owns the 5-star hotel? None other than William Samoei Ruto. And this hotel is said to be standing on a public land. And you remember there was a time he was trying to say that he bought in the right way, the due process was followed, but he was proved wrong. So there was a time he was saying that he's going to pay, I think, the people concerned, the owners of the land, and I think the owners of the land refused the offer. And you remember how police tear gas school children, and I think a number of them were taken to hospital, and this was condemned even at the international media. International community was very much against this. And then comes another scandal, the Kenya pipeline land scam, whereby a piece of land in Ngong forest was hyped, and it was to be sold by none other but William Samoei Ruto. He was selling to the Kenya pipeline, and I think 272 million was to be used, and Ruto is allegedly said to have pocketed. I think he received 96 million, and the scandal is something that has not yet been cleared to date. Another scandal that is associated with William Samoei Ruto is the scandal of Moi Teaching and Referral Hospital, whereby Herbert Ojwang alleged that Ruto was behind this scandal, and the hospital was to be, I think, renovated, and Ruto tried to influence this and said that another hospital should be built somewhere else. And in the process, he told the Public Investment Committee that this man, Ruto, was to pocket, I think, is it 26 million? Something like that. And this one, up to date, we have not had the final report, because the Public Investment Committee instructed the Auditor General to carry out. And I think forensic audit is something that we are likely to rely on. Then there is this issue of Kimwarer and Aror Dam, whereby millions and millions of money were lost. And then there is also the issue of Ghana Kwarur project, whereby we had to have irrigation and millions of money were used. And here it is alleged that this project, I think, was being financed by, is it Israeli government? Yeah, but it is said that Ruto misread the government, and the Treasury CS, who was actually his point man in Treasury, they were able to convince the government that Israel government was funding half the project, and the government was to fund half the rest of the project. And you see what happened? They pocketed half the money, and that is why to date the project is just a white elephant and never took off. The other issue is that when you look at William Samoei Ruto, you see somebody who is not coming with clean hands. So when Raila says that he's going to jail these guys, I think he should be supported, and he has a point. And when you look at Raila and KARUA, these guys mean business. Even when KARUA looks at you, she looks at people with the eyes of a magistrate. When she looks at you, you see somebody who is likely to fight corruption ruthlessly, somebody who is incorruptible, somebody who did not even steal when Kibaki was very sick. When these guys associated with the Kibaki's earlier scandals, you see, she was nowhere to be seen. And the same case applies to Raila Amolo Odinga. He has not been associated with corrupt cases. So what I'm saying is that these barons, the road of corruptions, and the people who are there actually associated with the same, Akina Waiguru and others, I think these people are likely to be jailed by Amolo Odinga and Mother KARUA. And the Azimio government has a prima facie case, as I've said, and this is the way to go. Because when you look at William Samoei Ruto, that is why when you look at these guys in Kenya Kwanza, to them, especially William Ruto, the presidency is a matter of life and death. It is either the presidency or nothing. These guys are even likely to run away when Azimio wins power, and it will be inevitable, kwa sababu kile ambacho kilichopo ni kwamba ushahidi upo wa kutosha, na ushahidi ukipelekwa kotini, I think the court will rule accordingly. And then I'm still wondering whether Ruto is fit to hold office. In the past, he has been associated with corruption, and in fact, I would call it theft, because when you look at the Muteshi rat, and he was proved, he was found as guilty as charged, and was even forced to pay, I think, 100 million to Muteshi. I think this man does not pass the integrity chapter, and he should be banned from contesting the presidency. I don't know what you think, but I think Raila Amolo Odinga has its work. That is, Raila Amolo Odinga's government has his work cut out. I'm your host, JOKE.Gachie Skyman, the tallest man in Black Africa. Have a blessed week ahead.